ECU?
R.
Do you bleed purple and gold? Are you ready to hoist the colors?
Hoist the colors!
It's time for the most in-depth look into the world of ECU athletics. Welcome to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Here's Stephen Igo.
Welcome in. It's Reaction Monday. On January 19th, the AFC and NFC championship games are set. We'll get to that. Former Pirate heading there. Jaquan and McMillan had a huge play over the weekend. We'll break that down and a whole lot more. Pirate Hoops lose their 6th in a row on the men's side as they fall to Charlotte inside Minges Coliseum on Sunday. We'll break that down as well. And the Pirate women keep going on their side in the positive direction. We are scheduled to talk to Kim McNeil later this week, ECU women's basketball coach. It's going to be a great week of coverage. I'll get to that here in a second. First off, we are live early today for listening to our live stream, 9:30 a.m. That is because we have Media Day coming over with ECU baseball in the lunch hour. So if you are catching us live, make sure to drop a comment or a question in the chat. We'll get to that over the course of the next hour, and then we will still have our show archived, as usual, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and also on YouTube and Facebook as well. And we'll have our show going live in the radio hour of normal at 12 noon on 94.3 The Game. So we'll react to the NFL weekend. Another prominent coach fired as well here in a little bit. Philip Pilkington is with us. He's producing. He's going to head over with myself, the ECU Baseball Media Day here in a couple of hours, which should be fun. Catch up with Cliff Godwin, coaches, players, and more. And it's almost that time, Philip, where we're truly getting into baseball mode on a week like this.
Yeah, we are, man. It's exciting. Been looking at some of the preseason stuff. Hung out with Wags over the weekend, so always talking college baseball with Wags. So who's going to be in town today? And if you're listening on the radio, we're actually actively hanging out with Wags, so excited about that. And yeah, man, Pirate baseball is finally here, and maybe this cold front we have coming in will come and get out of the way, and we'll have a warm opening weekend of Pirate baseball.
Yeah, I was told that we could be looking at over a foot of snow or something next Sunday.
Get it over with before Pirate baseball.
I've been around long enough to know that usually these forecasts a week out don't always play out that way. But, hey, go ahead. If you want to be that mass hysteria guy, start a panic and get everybody buying all the milk and bread at the grocery store, I guess we could start that. But this is why I dislike the winter stuff on that side of things. All right. The big news this morning, again, if you're catching us live, this just broke. Sean McDermott fired by the Buffalo Bills, and we can get into Bills-Broncos here in a minute. Kenny Curlin's in the chat pointing that out. And yeah, just huge news. What a coaching cycle. Sean McDermott has led the Bills, I just had it up a minute ago, to the playoffs, I believe 7 consecutive years, 5 of those as division champion. Of course, the problem is they have not won in the playoffs, at least in terms of getting to the Super Bowl. They have not made a Super Bowl with Josh Allen. You know, this kind of takes me back to, as a Denver Broncos fan, when they had Peyton Manning, they would always make it close with John Fox. They fired Fox, and then Gary Kubiak came in and won a Super Bowl in year one. Now, I think some of this is a little bit of, look back at that year, some of it was luck and just sometimes it's year. For whatever reason, the Bills haven't had that luck in the playoffs. I don't know. I just feel like firing McDermott is a risky move. I mean, they'll always be good with Josh Allen, but to me, he's a great culture guy. I don't know, Philip. This just feels like a bit of a reach, but maybe we'll be proven wrong.
Yeah, I understand the comparison to the John Fox situation. There is that, but I still feel like McDermott's a better coach than Fox. And I like Fox, obviously. He's with Carolina, took us to the Super Bowl. The thing is, how do you upgrade from here? That's what it comes down to. Like, you fire these coaches, and like if a guy's, a jerk or a bad culture guy, like you said, you could vouch for that. But when the fans like him and the players like him and the cheerleaders like him, the custodial staff likes him, and he's doing a damn good job, and we were talking about it pre-show, half the roster was hurt. I mean, I don't even know who their number one receiver is Is it
Shakir? I mean,
Shakir's not the number 1. He's number 3. He wasn't even. I don't know if he was the number 1 at Boise when he was there.
Exactly. He's the number 1 though in terms of targets and volume.
Yeah. So there are issues in Buffalo that are keeping them from winning a Super Bowl, and I don't think that Sean McDermott is that issue.
I agree. I feel like this was the worst Bills team personnel-wise that they've had. You could throw that in the injuries, and they still were a player or two away from going to the AFC Championship game. And I don't know. It just seems like a reach. But crazy cycle. Harbaugh out with the Ravens, Tomlin out with the Steelers, and now McDermott out with the Buffalo Bills. Kenny Curlin says one bad call, and they're still playing, which I do want to get to that as well. All right, let's talk about a former Pirate in that game, Jaquan McMillan. You know, I was listening to several Broncos podcasts over the weekend. I mean, it's been an emotional time, Philip.
I'm sure.
The Saturday game itself was an emotional roller coaster. The back and forth. Obviously, the game plays out. We can get into that. The kids. The game was at what, 4:30. So, the game ended around a little after 8. My kids usually go to bed around 7:45, 8. At least that's when we start the process. If you're a parent, you know, like with little kids, it's a process. So we held off bedtime till the game was over. I'm losing my mind, of course. Go upstairs to put the kids to bed. Like I'm watch Bo Nix do his post-game interview. I'm like, we're great. We're going to the AFC title, baby. Put the kids down, come back downstairs, lay down. Somebody sends me a text, and it's like from like Underdog Fantasy or something, and like the screenshot read Bo Nix out for a year, fractured ankle. I'm like, this ain't real. Like, this is fake. I get on Twitter. I see, like, one other person tweet it, but it's not, like, Shefty. It's not Ian Rappaport. So I'm like, this has got to be some fake mess. And sure enough, then somebody pulls up the clip of Sean Payton saying it at the podium like his dog had just been shot right in front of him. Like, I mean, it was just the ultimate high. I got, like, 5 minutes to enjoy the win.
Yeah.
And then the ultimate low of, like, losing your now franchise quarterback, in my opinion, if he goes out there and wins that type of game over Josh Allen. So that was a gut punch and a half. You had all the hysteria over the calls and the PIs and all that, which we can get into. But I don't know. I've just never seen anything like it, especially not with my team. But, like, in football in general, you have this emotional win, and then we didn't actually see Bo get hurt. That's what the weirdest thing was, Philip. It's like, usually you see the injury or you see something that leads you to think, oh, he might be out. And then usually we have to wait a day to, like, see what the injury is. But, no, it was just like, let's rip the Band-Aid off. Let's announce it now. He's out for the year. And it's just like, I'm still kind of just shell-shocked.
Yeah, it was weird because I saw it and it was from Schefter. And then I did do the double take. Is it that weirdo, like, fake Adam Schefter account? And now looking back, the fact that it was on that weird, horrible play call, the QB power, you wonder, the next play should have been a touchdown pass. And the ball was extremely underthrown, but it drew the PI. It was his right ankle. I wonder if when he went to go push off, that's when he even realized it. Yeah. He was kind of wincing when he walked off from that other play, but it wasn't like bad enough that you thought he broke his ankle. It was just like, man, he's a football player. He got hit. He winced. I mean, how many times have you winced on a football field when you got hit? Every time, right? So, I don't know. It was weird.
It was weird. And I do kind of like, not that we're going to turn this into a Broncos podcast, but hey, I am a Broncos fan. It's a unique situation. Looking back at it, I like how Sean Payton handled it. Because, like, if you just, like, let the win, everybody celebrate the win for 24, 48 hours and then announce this, like, today, I feel like there's more of a panic. I mean, there was a panic after the game, but it was almost like, let's go ahead and get the news out there.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and start building up Stiddy, as he calls him. He's been high on Jarrett Stidham for like 2 years now, so this isn't something new. He like loves Jarrett Stidham, so we'll see how that plays out. But it gets like the fan base over the injury, it gets the team over the injury, and then everybody I think is already starting to rally around Jarrett Stidham. So we'll see how it plays out. But like as painful as it was to have really no time to enjoy the win, I kind of like now looking back at it that we already know. Now we're moving on.
It's good to know quick, and I do want to remind people this. Garoppolo was drafted to be Brady's predecessor. Brady stayed longer than he was supposed to, and they traded Garoppolo. They needed to replace Garoppolo, and then they brought in Stidham. There was intent at one time to start Stidham as the Patriots starter, and then they landed Cam in free agency. And my uncle sent me a highlight video of stuff Stidham's done in a Broncos uniform. Yes, it's a small sample size, but the guy can make good throws. Like, this is not you're running out there some guy who's just like never played in an NFL game or anything. Yeah, it's a playoff game. It's a big game. Is he ready? Absolutely not. I'm not trying to say he is, but like, you could be in a worse situation.
Realistically, he's probably a top half backup quarterback in the league. I mean, and Sean believes he could start for a handful of teams, which is probably accurate given the quarterback play. All right, Jaquan McMillan's interception. First off, before we get into the call, which I have many thoughts on, potentially biased, but I
have an unbiased because I've officiated. So
I would love to know Philip's take. Jaquan McMillan. The story of Jaquan McMillan is incredible. Undrafted, out of ECU. We talked about it, man. This guy is just a football player. He's 5'9". He runs just under a 4.6 40. I get it why he went undrafted, but like instinctual football player, great tackler for his size, playmaker. He had 11 picks in 3 years at ECU. Doesn't play at all till week 18, his first year. By the way, he got cut at the end of roster cuts, waived by Denver, then brought back to the practice squad. Plays week 18 of his rookie year. And I'm like, this is Jaquan's moment. This team is terrible, but I'm going to watch this game because if Jaquan plays well, with a new coaching staff coming in the next year, he'll be on the team. He played phenomenal that game against the Chargers. Stuck on the roster when Peyton came in, has been extremely consistent as their starting nickel. They draft Jahdae Barron to kind of be the nickel or the cornerback of the future along with Pat Surtain and Riley Moss. He can barely see the field this year because Jaquan is so good. So, and again, like, game on the line, Broncos season on the line, Josh Allen, 3rd and 10, throws the ball up to Brandon Cooks, and Jaquan makes the play. So I couldn't be more happy for Jaquan, man. Like, what a great young man, a Pirate making a play on the biggest stage. I don't think I've ever been like more proud as an ECU and Broncos person. You know, like seeing that moment in real time.
It's amazing what we've been through in the last 3 months. Trey gets the ball for game 1 of the World Series.
Yeah.
Now J-Mac. Maybe somebody will hit a game-winning 3 in an NBA Finals one day.
R.J. Felton, baby. It's your time.
All
right, so I'm just going to say this up front. At no point when that play happened, Philip, at no point did I even consider it being a catch. Like, there was no point of me like, well, they're going to overturn that because that's a catch. Like, to me, it was never even considered. Like, I know that on the broadcast they were talking about stopping it, reviewing it. Like, there was nothing where he ever had possession and came close to completing the process of the catch, which to me has always been pretty obvious since I started watching the NFL, and they had the whole Des Bryant situation, obviously. And since then, it's like you got to go to the ground, you got to keep the ball, and you got to maintain possession. And if you don't do that, it's not a catch. So, like, I don't see how this would be any different just because McMillan picked it off. Like, if McMillan just punched the ball free and it was incomplete, nobody would be questioning it.
Yeah.
So why are we questioning it that he intercepted it?
So what people are questioning is his knee was on the ground, so he's down by contact. What I have to remind people is this. In order to be down by contact, you must have possession of football. Possession and control are two different things. You can jump up and have the ball in 2 hands and have control of it. That doesn't mean possession. So how do you get possession? That's the next question. Well, first off, you have to have 2 feet on the ground. Okay, he did have 2 feet. Then you must finish the act of catching the ball. So the natural act of catching the ball is control and 2 feet. How do they determine what's the black and white, cut and dry, okay, we're done catching, we've moved on to the next thing? There is something. A third step, so even if one of his feet, while he still had full control, would have shuffled, he would have finished catching the ball and begin running with the ball. Or a football move, a turn, a tuck, a something. But he came up, was naturally bringing the ball in the way it does it. He wasn't trying to tuck it to one side of his body or the other. One of the knees did go to the ground, but again, he never finished catching because he was falling the whole time. He never started doing the next thing. And when they went to the ground, the guy who came out with it was J-Mac. Therefore, yes, he was down, but he did not complete the catch prior to being down. He would have had to have then rolled over or held on the whole time or whatever. So they got the call right. Anybody who says the Devontae Adams thing is the same thing from last night, no, it's not,
Different
because
play.
he was turning and running and his feet were shuffling the whole time. It was totally different, the Devontae Adams thing to the J-Mac thing. And all these dumb Panther fans were trying to say, like, oh, they're biased towards the Broncos. Think about the Jericho Cotchery thing. Panther fans are salty about something from 10 years ago. They need to grow up. That's just stupid. Everybody, no, they got the call right. Trust me. 100% they got the call right. You can call me biased because I have family from Denver and I support the Broncos, but they got the call right.
I just think, like, and Kenny says same play yesterday and it was a catch. To me, it wasn't the same play. I was watching that live too with Devontae Adams. Like, I'm with you. He caught the ball, he possessed it, and then he, like, went to go to the ground, clearly in possession of the ball. Yeah.
And his feet moved. He took a third step.
So, like, I can understand the confusion, but, like, to me, there's a difference between catching it on the ground, going to corral it, and then Shakir or Cooks is in the air. And, yes, he had the ball with his knee on the ground, but at the same time, like, never possessed the ball, never completed the catch. So I can understand why people are, like, looking at a still shot of him holding the ball with his knee on the ground saying that's a catch, but that's not how the rule works. Like, you can use any screenshot in any situation. Like, look at the video. I mean, to me, like, the video makes it pretty clear. Like, again, in my mind, at no point watching the game was that ever a concern as a Broncos fan that they were going to overturn it. Like, to me, that's why they didn't even stop the game, because it was pretty obvious. But, you know, I don't know. I understand if you're on the Bills side, it's tough. Cameron says to me the defensive pass interferences were more egregious. I do think the first DPI was a terrible call. Now, there was contact there, but they were letting it go most of the game.
They had been very allowing stuff to go. He was holding the back arm. Anytime you hold the back arm, you're probably not going to get the benefit of the doubt.
But they also had roughing the pass on the same play, so it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, it would have been the same thing.
I mean, Bosa took a real cheap shot at Bo, so that one. And then the next one, to me, like, the one that Bo underthrew because his ankle was broken. Mims, like, the guy, I mean, literally tackled him before the ball got there. So, like, that one was kind of blatant. I mean, it comes down to, like, I hate it for Josh Allen. Like, it was, even as a non-Bills fan, it was tough to watch his post-game.
It was.
Because, like most of these quarterbacks can seem like divas, but Josh Allen just seems like a genuinely good dude. And, like, I hate it for him. I hate it for the bit. Like, being a Bills fan is probably the worst thing. It's worse to win every year and lose in heartbreak in the playoffs to me than, like, just be terrible.
Yeah.
But the Bills just the Bills just blew it. That's what it came down to me. Like, obviously, you got to credit Denver for the win, and there were maybe some questionable calls, but end of the day, they turned the ball over 5 times. Josh Allen gave Denver 3 points at the end of the first half for no reason.
Yeah.
It's like that's what people need to be talking about.
And that's what he felt bad about, you know, and that's why I think he took as much ownership as he did, and rightfully so, right? I mean, you know, he didn't play well. He picked a bad day to have a bad day, but also, you know, the one thing I do want to remind people is, where would the Bills be without Josh Allen?
Yeah.
They wouldn't be playing Denver the divisional round. That guy is the best player on that team. That guy is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. That guy will play in a Super Bowl one day. And he's got to restart from square one because he's got a new head coach.
I know.
We didn't have a new head coach yet. He just doesn't have his old head coach anymore.
I know we got to get a break in, but, I mean, did they just promote Joe Brady to head coach at this point? Because, I mean,
he was already kind of a talk about it. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, unless you trade for Tomlin, but I feel like Tomlin and McDermott are a lot alike, man.
Yeah. It's just it's interesting. I mean, it's a big move for Buffalo, and we'll see how it plays out. I'm sure Joe Brady will be one of the possibilities, but maybe they go in a completely different direction. Let's get a break in. We'll come back. We'll talk about the other action. Man, Rams-Bears last night. What a game that was. We'll talk about also the Seahawks moving on and the Patriots moving on too. We'll talk some ECU. I know we got an ECU question, and we'll get to that on the other side as well. This is Hoist the Colors Reaction Monday to a crazy weekend in sports.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Go Pirates! Arrgh!
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Alan, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
For over 51 years, Parker's Barbecue has brought families together with our award-winning whole hog barbecue and fried chicken. Tradition is important at Parker's Barbecue, and for 3 generations, the Parker's Way has stood the test of time. Whether you visit our dining rooms or drive-thrus, use our on-site catering, or even use our nationwide shipping, the hospitality, barbecue, fried chicken, homemade sides are still the same.
We are the Parker family. Come in and let our family show you. This is the Parker's Way.
Every ECU fan's one stop for all things ECU athletics. This is Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Segment 2 here on A Reaction Monday. We will talk some more NFL playoffs in a second. Cameron went in the chat on YouTube, which we got good viewership in the chat and participation for a 9:30 kickoff this morning on a Monday. Appreciate you guys. Cameron says, any word on how long after the game tonight before we potentially hear about a new quarterback addition? So, look, let's just be honest that the rumors out there at this point, Emory Williams from Miami could be coming to ECU if things work out. And, I don't know what the latest is as far as when he could enter and sign, but I would be surprised if we don't know by the end of Tuesday, maybe even sooner than that. The game is, what, a 7:30 kickoff, Philip hooking him back with us? At least that's what they listed as. Now it's probably closer to 8. But I would think, unless he has essentially told his agent to enter the paperwork and all that as soon as the game ends, I would think most likely you'll see it being Tuesday. Because today's also a holiday as well. So I don't know. I don't know what the status of all that is. But I would think by the end of Tuesday we could know.
Yeah.
He's got 5 days after the national championship to enter. Anybody that plays the national championship or the CFP can enter 5 days after. So that's we're just waiting on that. Jaden Davis, by the way, signed with the East Tennessee State, former Michigan quarterback who did have interest in ECU, goes to East Tennessee State, excuse me. And so he's looking for a chance to start. Pirates, we'll see what happens with that situation. Kenny also says we need baseball because men's basketball is over. With 13 games left, can they win at least 10 games? All right, hold that thought, Kenny. We'll discuss that next segment. All right, NFL, let's wrap it up here as far as the playoffs. Dude, Rams, Bears, I was texting James Giglio, Hoist Colors intern, and Brady Thomas in our group chat, and we were going into the game, and James was like, we need this one to be a good one. And I said, I think it's going to be a banger. It just has that feel. Now, I didn't for a while, it didn't really look like a banger. It was just kind of like back and forth, a lot of punts, good defense, which can be fun in the playoffs. But the way it ended, absolute insanity. I still don't know how Caleb Williams got that pass off, rolling backwards. Like that's like a play you can't even complete in Madden.
Yeah.
And he's doing that in that form. And then the thing that drives you crazy with Caleb Williams, which I know there was some potential miscommunication with DJ Moore and OT, Phillip, but as great a play as he can make at times, he makes some just absolute head scratchers too, and he still goes 23 of 42, 3 picks, 257 with his 2 touchdowns. So crazy game. Rams get the win in overtime after that crazy ending to regulation.
If this continues to be an issue with Caleb Williams, it's an issue. But we do have to remember he's a second-year quarterback playing his second playoff game. Like, the one thing I will say is, they were talking about on the whoever the sideline reporter is it Lisa Salters, I think. No, she's ESPN. Either way, it doesn't matter. Was talking about how, like, when he threw the touchdown, he just came over and was stone cold. Like, he wasn't celebrating. He was just, we got more work to do. Like, the between the ears, the attitude, the leadership of Caleb Williams is what you want. He's got it. It's just a matter of whether or not he can, not just have absolute blow-ups.
Yeah.
He's having them so far, but hey, Peyton threw 30 picks his rookie year. So, jury's still out on Caleb. The talent's there. But, also, like I said, DJ did kind of quit on the route. Also, it was kind of a weird play call. Like, I didn't mind taking a little bit of a shot there.
It was second down, right?
Yeah, it was second down. Like, that would have been the time kind of to take a shot. You'd got it second and somewhat manageable. But you were driving down the field so well. All you needed was a field goal. Like, I don't like the rolling, throwing across 2 high safeties on a crossing route kind of shot. I like a double move on the outside, and if you don't get the coverage you want, you just chuck it over the guy's head and throw it off the sidelines.
And I know the Bears did end up forcing overtime. I think we talked about this last week, but these coaches, man, 3 times the Bears ended up going for it on 4th down in Rams territory and getting nothing. And I know it's easy to say hindsight, but, like, you kick field goals in all 3 of those situations and you win the game in regulation. So, like, at what point did these coaches stop giving up free points? And the Rams did as well, and I'll give them credit. They scored on that one. But even at the time, I'm like, bro, it's a 10-10 game in the 4th quarter. I guess they just trust their offenses that much.
I don't like it. If I'm going to do it, though, Detroit doing it, L.A. doing it, it's a little different. They've got those guys. They've got Jameson Williams. They've got Puka Nacua. When any rando team does it, and it can be a rando good team, but you're just not set up for those type of weird gadget plays, I don't like it. Now, Philly's going, or not Philly, tush push is going to work. Yeah, Philly go for it on 4th and 1. I don't care. And if you feel good about your tush push, sure. But some of these weird plays, the Rams did it last week too, and it almost bit them in the rear end. Like, I just don't get it, man. Take the points.
Yeah, but they just continue not to. So, and Ben Johnson obviously comes from that Lions tree, and I guess he wants to be a lot like his old head coach in some ways. So,
God, there's a big difference right now in golf and Williams, and a big difference in Jameson Williams and DJ Moore. Like, it just works there.
And I thought Collinsworth made a great point. Like, Caleb Williams just wasn't using his legs at all. And now he did at the end of the game and had a huge run a couple of times late, but like in games like this, I of course you can look at the Bo Nix situation and say maybe that's why you don't, but I don't know. I feel like you still got to just, if you're a mobile quarterback at his size, you got to use it.
Hey, Panthers don't even make that game close if it wasn't for Bryce running that touchdown in late in the first half.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's such an X factor at times. So the Rams win it 20-17. Again, much like Buffalo, tough for Chicago fans who you get that high of tying the game. Did you think they should have gone for 2 there, speaking of going for it? No?
Not maybe in the regular season.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, this is the playoffs. You got to – because I would say you go for that and you don't get it. That's a fireable offense in my opinion.
The other thing is that if you think about it, they had that sequence where they had 1st and goal from the 2. And they got 4 cracks at it and didn't score. So, like, at that point, you're like, I don't trust any of our –
We've already used all 4 of our 2-point plays.
You're using your plays at that point. So, yeah. Kenny said he thought they would go for 2. I did too until I thought about it. and just the way it was unfolding. Plus, you were going to carry the momentum into overtime at home.
And the snow was really melted between the hash marks.
Yeah.
Had the snow been worse, even like how it was outside of the numbers, I maybe would have considered it, but Santos was going to have good footing, and he did.
Great kick and breakdown. I would have never thought about that. I like that. Kenny Curling says he thought they would go for 2. John Moody says unconfirmed reports coming in that the ball was slipping off his fingernail polish for Caleb Williams. So
that was good, John.
So there you have that. All right. The other games in the NFL were kind of okay. Any thoughts on Texans Patriots? I mean, it was I'm pretty confident the Broncos will get better quarterback play than what the Texans got.
All I've got about that game is, baby, band domes, because, God, that was fun to watch. It was ugly. It was sloppy, but that's what playoff football is supposed to look like. Cold, raining, little snow, and that's what gives you a home field advantage, man. New England looked more comfortable than Houston did.
You're right, and I thought the Texans' defense, for the most part, did everything they could. It was just too much to overcome with Caleb Williams. I was a little disappointed that they couldn't stop the run on that final drive when the Patriots got it back at their own 3 or something. That was a killer. But
why'd they punt anyways?
Yeah. Why punt on 4th and 18?
I mean, I guess because it was 18. But my thing is, if you're down one score, 100% punt. I think it comes out. Yeah, you just can't take that sack there, CJ. It was 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 4th and 7, 4th and 8, you're going for it. And even if you get the 3 and out, after you go for it and don't get it, if you can force the 3 and out, they kick a field goal, you're still down 15, so it's still technically 2 scores.
You know, the NFL is in an interesting spot with some of these young quarterbacks. We were talking about it. I still feel like going forward, and I know this year we said it's kind of anybody's game, and you look at it, the AFC, the top 2 seeds go to the championship, and then in the NFC, I feel like the 2 best teams are in the NFC championship.
Yeah, they just haven't been in the same division.
So, but I feel like the NFL, going into next year, and this is a way too early look, we got all these young quarterbacks. 3 of the 6 who were drafted in the first round last year have already made it to the championship game of their respective conferences.
One of them's made the divisional round.
Yeah, I mean, Caleb was almost right there. And then you still have the old guard with, Mahomes, Allen, Lamar.
It's funny we're calling those guys old.
I know, it's crazy.
They're still in their 20s.
I'm intrigued, but, I feel like going into next year, I don't know who the favorite will be, but I feel like half the league will feel like they have a shot at the championship. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I think so. I think the thing is the league, Stephen, has not expanded in so long. We've gone the longest ever without expansion. And more talent is being pumped out from collegiate programs. And the league's not expanding. And it can't anymore because the new 2 teams would have no fan base. Because anybody who's an NFL fan already has a team.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to continue to be this way. And this is good. That's why it was so hard to predict this year. And that's why the playoffs have been a bloodbath. And that's why, as bad as Kansas City was this year, they were better than what you would normally call a 6-win football team. They were an 8 to 9 win football team, and they won 6 games because it's that dang hard to win games these days.
Cameron, with our final comment before we get a break, he says, I love how the Rams were in field goal range to win the game, and they just kept throwing the ball. I love that as well. And I know they didn't complete it, but the thing I liked about Denver, too, was – I didn't want them to score with that much time left, but Buffalo was playing press man coverage. Throw the ball deep. Yeah. I mean, it's the NFL. If your receivers can't win one-on-one with no safety help.
Your receivers can't win one-on-one with no safety help. That's why you need to upgrade at receiver.
That is true. But also Buffalo can't play defense without tackling the receivers, so that helped us. But, I mean, I'm all for it. Yeah, it takes a lot to trust your quarterback and your receivers in that situation because the last thing you need is a turnover or a tip ball or something crazy. But I like that they went for it, and the thicker kicker ended up making it anyways for L.A., so they walked it off. So crazy. I mean, we could talk about Niners, Seahawks, but, I mean, Sam Darnold still doesn't have to do anything yet. So, I'm just curious, can the Rams make Sam Darnold, try and win the game?
He's going to have to against Matthew Stafford.
So he had the oblique, and then he barely had to throw as they returned the opening kickoff and rolled. as the Seahawks win 41-6 over the banged-up Niners. And we all were stupid to pick the Niners in the spread, but whatever. Let's get a break in. We'll come back. We'll talk some ECU. Pirates fall again. We'll take a look at the schedule. Kenny wanted to know how many games can this team win. They got a tough road trip coming up. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about ECU baseball as well. We may try to get a few player profiles in today. This is Hoist the Colors on a Reaction Monday.
Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human. About creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown. At National Finance, we're all about hometown support, just like ECU football. National Finance helps us win on and off the field. They've got your back when you need it most. Fast, easy personal loans for life's big plays. And just like us, they're committed to Eastern North Carolina. National Finance, proud supporters of ECU athletics. Visit nfcmoney.com for loans as fast as today.
Segment 3 of Hoist the Colors on a Reaction Monday. And appreciate you diehards in the chat. We're streaming early today. We got ECU Baseball Media Day. We'll have full coverage up, 94.3 The Game YouTube, as well as Hoist the Colors. Reaction to that throughout the week. Also, so this week's schedule, let's see if I can run it off the top of my head. So tomorrow we will have Kason Ramaley join us for the show. Of course, former HTC intern, Carolina Curveball, great to talk about the Pirates and much more. Wednesday, we are scheduled to lead the show with Kim McNeil and then have a Bucks on the Pond roundtable with Scott Lorbatcher, which, by the way, happy birthday to Scott. This is his birthday. Jonathan Wagner and potentially James Giglio. Thursday, we will have Shane Winkler in studio for a couple segments, ECU softball coach, to preview their season. And then Friday, of course, Bobby Harward. Football Friday, as we will preview the AFC-NFC Championship game. So busy week on Hoist the Colors. Looking forward to that. And we'll see what else we can throw in between. All right, ECU basketball loses its 6th game in a row. And Pirates fall to 5-13. They are 0-5 in conference play. They now go on a tough road trip where there will be dogs. There will probably be dogs there, but ECU will be dogs at Wichita State and at North Texas back-to-back. That is a tough road swing. This was one they really needed to get. Charlotte is better than I think anybody thought, 10-9. 4-2 in conference now?
Yeah.
So they had an awful year last year. They're turned around. They've got some impressive players, but kind of the same story we've seen, Philip. 73-70, ECU again. I've said it. There's no questioning the team's heart. The coaching staff gets the most out of these guys, but they keep falling behind, and then they'll come on a little run, and then they wind up a little bit short. Of course, this one a little bit closer than the South Florida game, very similar to the UAB game where they almost tied it at the end of regulation, but at the end of the day, another loss. And I know it's, you can just see watching Coach Schwartz. I've talked to Coach Schwartz many times after these games, and I know how much it means to him, how much time he puts into it. And you can see it's eating at them. They need a win, and I hate that they couldn't pull this one out. Just a tough result once again.
It is. And, I think the frustrating thing you and I were talking about during the break is, like, this team's playing much better than they were in December, and the opponents are just getting tougher and tougher. Like, I think the best thing that could happen to Eli Delorier was that injury. He's kind of becoming the player that we thought he was going to be, a solid role player. He struggled really early. Dimitri Gardner's been solid. It took him a couple games to get his feet wet, but he's been good. Cocker had his best game. Maybe, Jordan bringing the ball down the court is a good thing. Coach talked about it in his post-game press conference. He feels like they can still get the same scoring from Jordan when Jordan's running the point as when he's not, and they feel like other players can play off ball better with Jordan running the point. So maybe this is a decision, moving forward that they make. The tough thing is you're getting into the gauntlet part of the schedule where you have this tough Central Time Zone road swing against two places that's going to be really tough to play. Yeah, North Texas doesn't have the record that they maybe won in league play, but I do want to remind everybody they gave Tulsa their second loss of the season, and their losses are like at South Florida, at Wichita, and at Memphis or something crazy like that. Like they've played the top of the league. North Texas is still a good basketball team, and Wichita's always tough to go to Wichita and win. It always has been. So you got to find a way to steal one of these, because if not, you might be waiting until UTSA to get that first win, and that's not a good spot to be in. But the team is playing better; they're improving, but they were pretty low. So, what does that really mean? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, is that they are, like, you can see the improvements and you can see the adjustments the coaches have made, and I give them credit for that. I go back to the roster was flawed from the get-go, and that's even without the injuries, this team would be struggling, and that's only exacerbated it, obviously. And I give them credit. Look, Schwartz is a grinder, man. They're still going to go at this thing. I think they're still going to find a way to compete in a lot of these games. It's just, can they make the plays at the end? The bottom line is they just don't have as good of players as the opponents right now. And it's hard to make those winning plays at the end of games when you have less talent overall. And, obviously Jordan's doing his best. Gio's doing his best. And as much as I love Jordan, I think he can handle the point in certain games. I think if there's games where they start to show pressure defense, ball handling is not necessarily a strength for him. So, how do they adjust to that? And, we had Kenny ask earlier, how many wins does this team finish with? Do they finish with more or less than the football team? The football team had 9.
We're at 5.
ECU's at 5. This is the schedule. At Wichita, at North Texas, Rice at home. That's winnable. At FAU, Temple at home, UTSA at home, at Rice, Wichita at home, at Charlotte, at UTSA, Memphis at home, Tulsa at home, at UAB. I mean, the Rice and the UTSA games are going to be your best shots.
Yeah, but do they legit think we go 4-0 in those games? I mean, those teams are going to win games in the league too.
Rice right now sitting at 2-3 in the league, 8-10 overall. UTSA is 4-14, 0-6 in the league.
Yeah.
UTSA is on an 11-game losing streak. They are terrible. I mean, ECU is not good. UTSA, you would hope you would at least win one.
Yeah.
Ideally sweep, but they're going to be out for a win in that game. And the bottom 3 in the league don't make the conference tournament. So right now, ECU, The bottom of the league is currently UAB at 3-3, Wichita at 3-3, North Texas 2-3, Rice 2-3, and then ECU and UTSA winless. So, like, I'm with you. If you want to have a chance to make the conference tournament, you got to steal one from Wichita or North Texas.
Yeah, I'm looking at UTSA's schedule. Honestly, the best game they played all year, probably just off the results. They only lost to Seattle by 3. Seattle's pretty good,
and they've been getting killed in these.
They've been getting. They lost to Rice by 16. I mean, they've lost to. What the heck is this? It is a D1 school. Is this Southeastern SIU Edwardsville? So what's that?
Okay, yeah. Southern Illinois
University Edwardsville. Yeah, they've lost to Texas State's Group of 5 school. Was that Abilene Christian they lost to? I mean,
check out these conference scores though: 95-69 to Memphis, 89-73 to Rice, 85-52 to Tulane, 74-58 to Charlotte, 76-57 to Temple, 110-70 to FAU. They've lost every conference game by 16 points or more.
Yeah, they're bad.
So, like, ECU's at least competitive. So, I mean, you have 2 versus them, and then you have 2 versus Rice, which, again, is much better than UTSA. But, like, those are at least 4 winnable games.
Yeah.
And
the UAB still has not impressed me. I didn't think we played well against UAB. It's the last game of the season. We'll maybe have hung them up by then. I don't know. But maybe at UAB. And then they'll probably still win that we thought they had no business winning. This is how it works. Somebody's going to have a bad night, and you're going to have a good night.
Like Temple or Wichita State at home, maybe.
Yeah, I'm going to answer your question, Stephen. They finished more or less. I'm gonna go nail on the head. I think they split with Rice. I think they sweep UTSA. I think they win one game that we didn't think they were going to win.
That'd be a 9-win season, which would be the first single-digit win season since I think Ricky Stokes in 06-07.
Is that like 6-24 or something like that?
Yeah. That was the year they won one conference game over UTEP. Courtney Captain from the corner, baby. I still remember it. The game winner. For the real Pirates out there, you remember that as well. It's just been a tough year, man. We had a big picture discussion last week about the status of Coach Schwartz and all that, and I'm sure we'll continue to have that conversation. It's just, to me, like, there's no questioning the culture and the work ethic. It's just the roster construction and the recruiting. Even with the injuries, I've said it. Like, I just didn't love this team going into the year. I love Jordan Riley. I love Gio. Those are 2 big-time players, but neither of those guys are really, like, number 1 options.
No.
Like, Jordan was perfect last year as a 2 or 3 with RJ and CJ as your number 1, number 2. So, anyways, there's our basketball discussion. Let's get a break in. We'll come back. We'll talk some ECU baseball, whatever else you guys want to hit on in our final segment on the way.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked to order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's cut in color. And let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Like all pirates, Stephen Igo is loyal and bold. He may also have a touch of scurvy. Back to Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game.
Final segment here, Hoist the Colors on a Monday. It's been a Reaction Monday. Fun show talking NFL. We just recap ECU Hoops losing its 6th in a row. Tough string continues for the Pirates. Let's get into some baseball. We're about to head over to ECU Baseball Media Day. If you're following us live, if you're listening to our archive, you can check out any of our coverage, 94.3 YouTube, as well as hoistthecolors.net and on our YouTube page as well. We've been doing our ECU Baseball profiles. Season opener, less than a month away, February 13th. Xavier will be coming to town. And we'll be waiting to see where Alex Boucher plays. He's next on our player rundown, number 8. He's listed on the roster as a utility man, 6'3", 200. In the fall, he pitched. In the fall, he also hit. And I will say, when I was out there for a handful of scrimmages, Alex Boucher looked like really good. Like he was hitting the ball well. He was throwing strikes. I mean, I don't think he's going to be like a top arm out of the bullpen or anything, but like I'm super impressed. We had Alex in here one time for an interview. Look, the season didn't go the way anybody thought it would. The strikeout totals were high. He hit 251, 9 doubles, 1 triple, 6 homers. But, like, I'm super impressed that after what he went through, he stuck it out, and he's like, man, I'm just willing to do whatever it takes to help the team. Pitch, hit, pinch hitter. And, like, to me, that's just another great sign of the culture that Cliff Godwin has built, Phillip. Like, to have this guy, hometown guy, not give up and transfer somewhere else. He's just willing to do whatever it takes to help the team. I think that says a lot.
It does. And the big thing about this as well is I feel like he was the guy who got the most flack on the message boards, right? He was the guy who was the least cheered by the fan base, and it didn't go well. We had him in here. You know, it was tough on him, and it just speaks to his character. You know, so credit to CG, credit to him, credit to his parents. I'm sure they obviously raised a remarkable young man. And look, who knows what he's going to do? He's going to be the starting shortstop? Maybe, maybe not. I think he definitely needs to improve. He's going to be the starting shortstop, but hey, man, he's here till the end. He's here to ride it out. And if it doesn't work out, we at least all have to respect him. Even if maybe he doesn't turn out to be the baseball player that he wants to be or that we know he can be, the character, you can't question it.
So there's Alex Boucher again. Expect to see him in a variety of roles. And I think, too, like even having him as a right-handed pitch hitter off the bench who can, like, run into one if you're down 1 in the late in the game, like, yeah, okay, you strike out sometimes, but in this situation, just go up there trying to hit a bomb. Yeah. And if you strike out, whatever, man. Like we got, this is why we have you on the bench. This is why we like your skill set. And don't be surprised if he's been some games early in the season. So, I mean, he was a high school pitcher at South Central, really good. And, again, hope things work out the best for him. All right, number 9, we're doing this in numerical order. We had Ryan Towers on Friday. Number 9 on the roster is Brett Antolik, 6'4", 220. Previously at Texas A&M, came to ECU, high-profile recruit out of high school, expected big things, looked good off the mound, and then had a hip issue, had surgery, still had a further issue, had another procedure done, and now he is back, expected to pitch this season. This was a guy who was ranked a top let's see, number 340 nationally prospect in the country coming out of high school, the 112th best right-handed pitcher, one of the best players in Pennsylvania coming out of high school. So big talent here. It's just somewhat of an unknown, but big size, 6'4", 220, physical presence on the mound, can run it up there, and another wild card for this pitching staff.
If he reaches his potential by the end of the season, he's a weekend starter. If his hip doesn't allow him, if it causes him to have to change his motion, or he just doesn't find his groove, it could be bad. My guess is it's going to be somewhere in between. I think he's going to struggle a little bit early just because of rust, and then I think he's going to show flashes in certain innings and certain outings that he can, be what he can be. And he's one of those guys you hope he just hits that stride late in the season enough that he's a weekend starter next year. I don't think it's going to be something this year. I hope it is, but if I had to guess, he'll find his groove and really be a vital team of the 2027 East Carolina Pirates, but could be used in big situations late in the season and in critical moments in the postseason.
There's just so many pitchers this year that I feel like it's going to take some time. I know we're running short on this. It's going to take some time into the season to really figure out what the roles are. I mean, it always does on the pitching staff, but this season in particular, guys coming off injuries, new arms, transfers, and I'm going to ask AK this today, but there's a lot to sort through, which is a good thing. You've got options at least.
Yeah, you do. And I think some years it's been like, man, we trust 3 dudes. We feel okay about 2. Who else is going to step up? Now it's just like, hey, where's everybody slot in? And, some guys work out and some guys won't. We'll see.
All right, we are out of time. Appreciate everybody in the chat today. Great participation, even with the early start as far as the stream. Thanks to you guys. We'll be here all week. Again, check out our content, ECU Baseball Media Day online, 94.3 The Game, Hoist the Colors as well. Tomorrow we'll have Case and Rameli. We'll recap and react to what we learned at Media Day. Also talk about the college baseball season upcoming with Case on Tuesday. Should be a fun